Oh, I have Auto-Tune Baby stuck in my head.
Oh, I'm Revolution all day.
I don't know why. It is kind of catchy, though.
So are we Oh, well, I don't know.
Are we talking? We're talking.
I'm talking.
We're talking.
I'm talking.
I believe.
I believe in the power.
It's not
R-A-S-E-U-A-M-E.
It's not that album. We're talking the wrong album.
But I love that one. Why can't
Oh, I'm trying to bring you back in. Back that up to the beat, Liberty.
Yes, sir.
Back that up to the beat.
Score.
I can't believe I'd never heard that one.
I hadn't either, and
that's the only one actually that I hadn't heard after all.
Well, Liberty, do you want to open the show? Are you ready to do that?
I'm always ready, baby. I was born ready.
Oh, promises.
Can you give it to me? Baby, step to the beat. I'm down on my knees. Madonna is unstoppable.
You're listening to MLVC, the Madonna podcast, your place for all things Madonna Louise Veronica Ciccone. Hi, everybody. It's Liberty.
Hey, wannabes. We're back. It's Ben.
And hey, everybody. It's Stefan. Welcome to another episode of MLVC. Happy Trans Visibility Day, everybody.
Yes.
Woo, woo. We recently celebrated the 10th anniversary of Madonna's Rebel Heart album. And so because there was so much to talk about, we didn't get a chance to really deep dive on the leaks. So that's our topic du jour. We're going to get to that in a little bit. But it's been a while since we've done one of these. And as you know, there's plenties of goings on in the Madonnaverse.
You know she'll take you there.
That's right. Don't just stand there. Let's get to it. It's time for a little This Week in Ciccone.
See, I get what I want.
So as we've caught on to Madonna's PR schedule, we now know if we don't go live on Sunday nights, we'll have something to talk about on Monday nights. So that's why we're doing this on Monday night, everybody, because as we knew, Madonna posted something. I've got her. I don't know why I wasn't remembering. Monday morning is a great time for the PR cycle to pick up on like articles and stuff. So yeah, she's posting on Mondays. So the PR engine can feed to all the magazines. Cause did you see like Billboard picked up an article and I think there was People magazine and whatnot. So yeah, we got you, Madonna. Yeah. We got you.
Yeah, and they were all like really looking for something because all I was seeing was about how Morgan Wallen walks off of NSL, and I'm just like, who cares? Like Morgan Wallen was on SNL. That's the first thing I have to say about it. Like, who? What?
Yeah, I don't even know who that is.
Nothing worth paying attention. Yeah, no one worth paying attention to.
But yeah, so Madonna, she showed up, finally posted. I think that was like her first in the feed post since like March 16th or something. Like Mother was starving us. She's been very restrained on her Instagram, I gotta say. It's but thankfully she posted. She had attended the Mother-Daughter Holy Spirit fashion show, where all proceeds are going to fund the Trans Justice Funding Project. She was decked out wearing Willie Chavara and got interviewed by the People Gallery, which I love. How you doing? How you doing today? What did you all think of that video?
Oh, so cute. I mean, I just love how playful she was and that she was like, that she had time for it. That's, I think, the best part about it, because I always worry that she's going to, not have time to talk or something. And she did. It was so cute.
Yeah, Ben, what do you think?
Yeah.
I watched it and I was like, this is what we want more of. Like, we want more of her just like communicating and talking, I miss that about the Celebration era because we were getting her talking all the time on stage and now we don't get a lot of that.
Yeah.
Well, and the Rebel Heart era was actually an era where we got a lot of talking, but not so much Madam X and subsequently. But that interview was both old school and new school. And I love that she still said cacio pepe is her favorite dish. And she's still that Detroit Italian. So yeah, it was super fun. Also the outfit, like those pants, I was like, is it 1990? Like, hello. So
Oh,
The
she looked
shoes.
great. Everything from head to toe,
Yeah.
I thought was fantastic.
Yeah, I love those shoes. I love me some Oxford style shoes. So
Yeah, and I think what I liked about it also was, it wasn't overly filtered. It was her, like it was really her. And girlfriend is looking amazing lately.
Yeah.
Like,
snatched. Hmm.
my goodness, like God bless us all to look that good at 66 because I mean, but she like she looked real and human and like Madonna. And yes, she wore the grills. People are going to go at her over that, but she was playful and fun. And it was, and what a great platform for her to be on, because the People Gallery, I mean, they've got like 750,000 followers, and I'm sure it's a bunch of people who don't necessarily follow her. So
Yeah.
that's good exposure for her. And
well, she had a recent post on TikTok that has like way, way, way more views than any of her other TikToks. I don't know what happened. It hit the FYP for everybody or something. I don't know but it was, again, it had to do with the grills. So, hey, I'm actually here for it. And a lot of people in the comments were like, "Ooh, Madonna, I like those grills." So I was happy to see that. Positive. I was really happy to see
Oh,
that.
was that the post where somebody had discovered like all the different footage of her with grills all the way back to 1992?
No, this was when she posted on TikTok where she's like rapping. Forgive me, I don't know the song that she's lip
Oh,
syncing to,
yeah, I don't
but
know.
but she just does something and she's like this, and then
Yeah, I know. I saw that people were like freaking out that it had gotten like so many likes and whatnot. It's weird when that happens, right? Like
yeah.
something just resonates really heavily with people. Bless you, Ben. But Ben just had a very violent sneeze.
oh,
He muted so you didn't have to hear it. It was so violent. I actually really wanted to hear it. I wish you hadn't. It's allergy season, right?
Yeah.
oh, all of the pear trees here are in bloom. So, of course, the entire neighborhood smells like censored. And
Oh,
the pear,
those are the trees that smell like man juice?
yes, yes, the jizz trees, as I like to call them, but they're
Oh,
pear trees that are an invasive species, and they're all over this neighborhood because people have planted them as decorative plants. And so, since they bloomed out last week, like every few hours, I'm like,
Do
it's
do they
crazy.
actually produce pear fruit, or they're just called pear
No,
trees?
they're just like they're a varietal that's a tree versus like a fruit bearing.
Oh,
But they have similar flowers to like a regular pear tree, but then the pollen smells of skeet.
yeah, I've
So
heard about
yeah,
that. Oh,
yeah,
well, there you go. Look, botany on MLVC. Who would have thought?
yeah.
You know,
I mean, they literally could have been like a appendix of the sex book, maybe. I don't. She could have like been naked in one of them, and oh, not on my face.
oh God. Um, what else happened with her? So in that same post, as you can see in back of me, probably one of the most delicious moments to hit Madonna fandom in quite some time. Something I never thought we'd ever see her do ever again. She re-wore the Desperately Seeking Susan Pyramid jacket, and to sort of honor the 40th anniversary. I mean, this was like for a Madonna fan, I think this was like a break the internet type of moment. Like I was working and my mouth was just like, what is happening? It was so amazing to
and it
see.
kind of did. I mean, it was over. I only have time to like intermittently check the socials throughout the day, but every time it was a different person sharing, a different person posting about it, a different person trying to surmise whether this was the actual jacket or whether this was a replica. So Yeah, I was loving that because this is my
So-
favorite movie ever.
So there was a little bit of research that was being done with, I mean, I had posted on our Instagram, do we think this is the actual real jacket that she wore? Is it a replica? Because it's pristine condition. I mean, this thing looks like it's brand spanking new. Madonna Outfits pointed out that they believe this is the jacket that Rosanna Arquette wore in the Desperately Seeking Susan photo shoot where the poster comes from, because they were analyzing the collar. Because the one Madonna wears, the swirls are slightly placed differently than the one that Rosanna Arquette wears. So that makes sense that maybe, because I was looking at it and I thought, well, this looks a little roomier on her than the one she wears in the movie. So I surmise maybe Madonna swiped a bunch of the jackets, and because Rosanna Arquette was probably like, I don't want it. Oh, by the way, we've tried to get Rosanna Arquette on the podcast. She has politely declined. So I can sort of say I'm speaking on behalf of Rosanna Arquette when I say this.
Oh, Lord.
Maybe Madonna just took a couple versions of the jacket, and that's
Maybe. I think that's a yes.
and she's
Well-
cool because like hers is probably either in some museum or locked away in her storage, and she's just like, I don't care if I damage Rosanna's, and that's why it's a little bit roomier on her, because it looks a little bigger on her than it does in the movie.
It does. Allegedly, though, there were only 2 jackets for the film. So that's from the director.
Susan
I'm
Sattleman.
blanking. Yes, thank you. I was going to call her Susanna Hoffs. Wrong, Susanna. Okay.
Close your eyes, give me your hand.
So somebody in the chat just said that Rosanna Arquette revealed in a Q&A about Desperately Seeking Susan that she gave the original that she wore to Peter Gabriel's daughter.
And then it was auctioned, maybe? Or
So Madonna had Lourdes hang out with Peter Gabriel's daughter, and Lourdes stole it when the daughter was in the bathroom.
that's the only reason for her to hang out with her.
We've figured it out.
Some had thought perhaps because the last time that was auctioned that no one knew who bought it, and that maybe Madonna actually
I like that. I love that.
bought her own jacket back. Maybe.
An anonymous donor, and it's actually Madonna. That's
Or she just hired somebody to make one.
It could be, or it could just been. I mean, we don't know. There's so much to not know behind a photograph. Someone there could have had a replica, and then they just said,
no.
"Hey,
That
Madonna,
honestly,
put it on."
it's too good. Like I was like, if you zoom in, the fabric is like it's perfect. Like everything about that jacket is. It makes mine look. it makes my replica look not as good. I was like, okay, I need to step up my game if I'm gonna.
Yeah.
And of course, in my head, I'm thinking maybe Madonna's readying. She's gonna sell the Desperate. Like, remember when we were like, "What's the merch gonna be like for Celebration Tour?" And I was like, "Wish list." It's the Desperately Seeking Susan jacket in addition to the Blonde Ambition bomber. And I'm like, maybe that's what she's doing. She's just getting ready to like sell replicas. Honestly,
She could.
she could. We'd all buy them.
For so much money for raising Malawi. Madonna.
Liberty is ready to sell off one of her children to get that jacket. I
Maybe
mean,
not a child, but perhaps a Louis Vuitton bag. I don't need anymore or something.
Oh,
For that jacket, I might. And especially if it was something she decided to do for raising Malawi, or as a
tax
charity.
write-off.
Yeah,
Fair.
I would love for her to do that, and I think a lot of fans would be willing to buy that because we want to dress like Susan. It's what really put for me, and I've said that before, I think, but it put Madonna in my, like, it gave me a face, right, to the name. And now, even though that was Susan, to me, that was Madonna. And so that's really maybe that's who I've always been in love with, but
Susan.
yeah.
Oh, I
I'm
mean,
still in love with her.
her putting that jacket on in that movie. I mean, I think that started my jacket
And the
fetish.
2 photos, right? The
Like-
ones that behind you, like this one with the over-the-shoulder look, that is so reminiscent of a couple of things that she does in the film where she's like that. So yeah,
Oh yeah, it's heaven. It's heaven. I think we'd all be in line to get one of those jackets.
It's so interesting to listen to you two talk about that movie and how it's such a seminal moment in your fandom. And I kind of like, I loved Into the Groove, but like, and I like the movie, don't get me wrong, but I'm just like, it's always curious, like, what are your story beats in your Madonna story, right?
Yeah, what's your touch points?
Yeah, because the DSS era is like one I pretty much, other than Into the Groove, I just skip over. I'm just like,
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, I often wonder if Desperately Seeking Susan is the reason why I felt compelled to move to New York. I think I've said that on the show before. Like, I wonder if I'd never seen that movie, if I ever would have felt compelled like I did to want to be in New York. And then cut to me spending like over 22 years of my life there.
It did do a good job of capturing a certain type of New York at a certain period of time. A lot of movies did. Desperately Seeking Susan definitely is a snapshot.
And that's what I mean. I love that movie for that reason. Like, it's such a great time capsule movie of New York from that era. And that will never come back. And then it's also a great Madonna movie at the same time, and just a good movie in general. Sorry, we're reminiscing about the movie because it did turn 40 over the weekend.
40th anniversary.
Yeah.
Why
Yeah.
not?
And
We
honestly,
can do-
again, it's a monumental thing for her to post this, sort of just hidden among these,
Right, that
other
wasn't even the
photos.
lead. Like,
Yeah.
it was buried
Right,
under that.
right.
Like, that for some artists would have been like, look at me, I'm wearing Desperately Seeking Susan jacket. And it's like, no,
But
it
that's
was
so Susan. See, that's
Totally.
so Susan. That's like,
I don't even know why did she have it out that night? Like, I want to know more about like what was it doing there? Like, are we going to get a reel? Actually, in typical Madonna fashion, she knows that we're live tonight. So I am assuming tomorrow we'll probably get a follow-up, like reel or something else will be leaked tomorrow.
little
Like,
Into the Groove with the jacket on.
yeah, she'll
could
do a little
so
dance.
do.
We'll find out that she's going to be like donating the jacket for like to an auction, and you can buy it and something
for trans
Yeah,
aware.
exactly. So stay
Maybe
tuned
that
for
would be
more
awesome.
news that she's trying to usurp us. We got it. We know. I know.
She just doesn't want us to talk about the leaks. That's what
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
saying. She's like, those
I'll
guys.
get them. Also, just a side note, it's currently torrential rain and thundering outside here in South Philadelphia, and they had sent me a notice saying, if you lose power, so if this live cuts off in the middle of conversation, it's because South Philadelphia was struck in with
It's the power of Madonna. She's like, no leaks. They're not talking about it. Send them a thunderstorm.
Oh my goodness.
Can you imagine?
That's ridiculous.
She controls the weather.
She's the Jewish space laser.
Oh my God.
Kabbalah is mystical.
Esther with the oh God, I can't keep a straight face saying that.
She's like around her cauldron, like Elspeth in in Four Rooms, and she's doing a weather spell. She's like, they're not going to talk about those leaks. Oh no.
Nope. She's gonna get the Kabbalah satellite on us. Zap.
Yeah. My God.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, well, so let's talk about the leaks. So we, again, as we know, Rebel Heart turned 10, and part of the Rebel Heart era was all of those leaks that got deluged onto the internet. Some were good, some were maybe not so good. There's a bunch of ones that I love. I don't know how you want to talk about it. Do you want to just like call out a name of a song and we can be like, yes, no, maybe?
We can kind of do some,
Round robin.
Yeah, I mean, I wrote not copious, but a lot of notes about as many of them as I could.
You go.
A lot of them I'll say thematically. I mean, first of all, thematically, there's some that are just so close to the other songs that did make it onto the record. And the writing is very similar. Like you can find, oh gosh, what's the one that's, it sounds a little bit like Inside Out, like it's a sister song to that.
Never Let You Go.
Not Never Let You Go.
Nothing lasts forever.
Nothing Lasts Forever. Thank you. I only put the NLF. But it's got the same sort of vibe. There's this score has me thinking about, Give Me All Your Love, but also it's kind of that a lot of metaphorical speak that she's so good at, like is in Body Shop, right? All the car metaphor. It's a different type of metaphor, but she's so good at that where she plays with the words until she gets,
So
message through some
Score
of
is
their-
interesting because I feel like it's Body Shop's fraternal twin. Like it's very saccharine and sweet, but at the same time, I really appreciate the fact that Madonna knows how to write earworm songs
Yeah.
because it's, even though it's like silly and fluffy, it's still kind of catchy.
Yeah.
It's the birthday song of the album.
Yeah.
For sure. And I wondered why she was writing it. Like, I wondered, like, again, because with Rebel Heart, even though, she's never confirmed this, I had heard that she was writing a bunch of those songs for various soundtracks. And I wonder if the score was being like entertained for some movie because it feels like, I just wonder why she was writing like a baseball analogy song.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well,
This is one of the ones I had never heard, actually, Score. The only one that I hadn't ever heard somehow.
Yeah, and there were no big baseball movies that came out in 2015.
No.
I literally just Googled sports movies of 2015, and they're all like football and soccer. There's nothing.
I don't know. But going back, Liberty, nothing lasts forever. I thought that was one of the standouts.
Oh,
that,
okay.
That, I mean, sort of not repetitive compared to other catalog moments, but no, but the one, your background, that's one of, it's so Trust No Bish. That, I thought that one was angry and silly, but so like hunting Madonna.
I kind of wondered if she wrote it like on the same day or around the same time as Holy Water, because there's something very like moody about it. I don't know. I like it. This is the Natalia Kills relationship, right? So, yeah, I don't know. I like that one. Yeah.
I like that the different collaborators bring out different sides of Madonna. That's what I
big
thought
time.
was so fascinating about, like, you hear a song and you're like, Avicii. Like, you don't even have to
Yes.
know who it is that's working with her, but you can hear it. It's like, oh, Natalia Kills. Oh, this is Avicii. Oh, this is Diplo. Oh, this is Pharrell. It's just
But that's part of the problem, because all of the leaks and then even some of the final tracks, it's almost it becomes a collaborator of the session album, right? Like
Yeah.
you can, because the sum total of the leaks, you get a better picture of the original idea of the Rebel Heart, the original double album that was being written with the Avicii team. Like there's the very clear Rebel songs, the very clear Heart songs, but then there's like this second guessing and these other collaborations like the Natalia Kills and some of the Diplo stuff starts to seep in and the vision starts to dilute. And then it just becomes like buckets of collaborators, and you're sort of like, oh, okay, well, this is like an EP of songs with Mozilla. This is an EP of songs with Natalia Kills. These are the Diplo songs. It's interesting.
Well, I think it's clear that that's the songwriting process was really disruptive for her, because you can see because it's like she wanted to go in this Avicii direction, and then all of a sudden that had to stop because he's going on tour, he's not being responsive, and then she's like, okay, let me pick up with this person, and then that person inspires her to go another way, and then she has to like loop back around, and it's just like there was a lot of up and downs with this. Do you have a favorite direction with some of the leaked songs? Like, were there some songs
the original idea, the Rebel and the Heart, like,
but like which of the leaked songs do you love the most?
Oh, Revolution. I still don't understand why that song was not on the final album. That is such a thumper, and it's so Madonna, and I just love it.
There are moments where I when I consider the final record of Rebel Heart and I consider what was thrown off, and I think like that was a misstep in my opinion, and I don't know who's 100% wholly responsible for that, or if it was a collaborative issue. But when I think of Auto-Tune Baby, I think like, throw that in the bin, and I would have loved that as a as a song that you discover years later, like, oh, check this out. It came out, it would have been on Rebel Heart, and you trying to like, mathematically figure out how in the world would this have fit if Revolution had been in its place, because
Yeah.
that's one of the things that I love to do when I, years later, like what was it, like a couple years ago when a bunch of erotica stuff comes out, that's like things that, where you're like, oh, okay, well, like, I guess I can sort of see, but I just thought that could kind of like stay off. I don't need that in the place of Revolution, especially when you consider there's a lot of songs that are in this sort of group of like fully not on the record songs, like that have this sort of 60s protest song vibe that I really love. And I think she was kind of in a headspace of like, maybe, she had sort of a vision about, which I always feel that she's prophetic in this way. Politically, things were really starting to set on fire. And and she kind of wanted to sort of wake us up and to like get us to stop, which she always is. That's the everlasting, especially of the last 20 years message of like, open your eyes, people.
Mm-hmm.
And in fact,
Yeah,
I
the
think she's kind
backside
of
of-
tired of us about that we don't do anything about it.
Right. Yes, the backside of Secret Project Revolution, like the Avicii stuff, and you're right to call them protest songs because they're rebel, but it's really like, and it's not even like cloyingly socially conscious, right? Like it's genuine concern and
That's
sort
what I
of
think.
thinking globally. Yeah.
It's when, when she did was it Place de la Révolution or wherever it was, Place de la Bastille or something, where she did If I Had a Hammer or something like that, that it ends up there at the end of Rebel Heart. That maybe there was some kind of, like she's just like in that 60s sort of Woodstocky sort of mindset of love thy neighbor, and I would spread this message of peace if people would just listen. And
well, so one of the like 60s 70s vibe songs that I adored from the Leaks was Alone with You, and that was the one that, like, for me, there was a big ABBA vibe that I got off of that song, which I loved hearing her do. And that's the one that's like, there you go, didn't you make a convenient exit? And I like that. To me was one of those where I was like, oh, I would love to hear this like reproduced, like a completed version of that song would be amazing because it's catchy, super catchy.
I had never heard that song until today.
Really?
I'd never heard it. I have a huge, like one of the huge downloads that had all the different versions of the Leak tracks, and it had most of the songs. But what were the ones I had never heard until today? Alone with You, Score, and Heaven. I had never heard those until today.
Oh, wow. Oh my
Never
God.
heard
That's so
them.
funny. What a gift. I love
when you
just
said
got
that
some new
yeah, you said that this morning, and so I immediately searched them, and of course there was like a whole YouTube channel that I found that had all of the songs. And it was interesting how they had sequenced them, because the other thing that struck me is like you can kind of tell the order in which these were written and recorded and created. Like clearly she started with the Avicii ones, then the Diplo Mike Dean stuff started coming in, and then she kind of splits off and has some of the Natalia kills and other stuff. And I feel like the stuff toward the end was getting kind of angry, and it was like, you're 2 steps behind, trust no bit. I'm like, oh, put that down.
Well, actually, I forget. There is Guilio from Madonna Songbook. He did a wonderful job at mapping out.
I haven't read that chapter of the book yet.
He did a really great job of mapping out like when she started working on this. And again, I forget the order in which he said, but like he goes very in depth on the process of the writing. So have a read on that, because he talks about, you can see sort of like the progression of that. I mean, I love a lot of the Pharrell stuff, that although I'm glad it didn't make the album, because for me, it would have been severely out of place on Rebel Heart. I still love the stuff that they did, and I'm glad that we have it. Like, obviously, back that up to the beat, we did get, because thank you TikTok, and it finally got released, both the demo version and then the reproduced version that we got for the Madam X Super Deluxe. But I also loved Take It Back with Pharrell, because I thought that was like, they have a very easiness to their songs. It's very Pharrell, but I thought Madonna seems to work well with him. And the spoken part on Take It Back was giving me shades of I Want You, the Massive Attack. If you listen to that, like, there's sort of the way she's doing the spoken word on that, it's very much I Want You. Go back and listen to that. And I was like, because I was listening to it earlier and I'm like, oh, that's I Want You, Madonna. That's who that is.
I didn't listen to that one again today. I'll have to
she's hanging up
revisit.
that rotary phone while she's doing it, isn't she?
It's so funny because I got like a ring my bell
Oh, that
vibe.
too. Yeah. Oh, totally. Yeah. Oh, that's such a good song.
Yeah, ring my bell. It's fun.
If you want to talk to me, that's exactly what you're going to have to do. Talk to me. Oh my God, I love it. I thought Nothing Lasts Forever and Never Let You Go. I thought those two were very like similar-esque songs, but again,
those are too samey.
Never Let You Go. I was just re-listening to it today. The melody and music totally remind me of Let It Will Be from Confessions. Go back and listen to Never Let You Go, and you will hear, it's almost as if like it was sort of like that was a leftover idea that maybe she didn't come to fruition with, or like maybe she had scratched it in like one of her notebooks, and when she was trying to like come up with ideas for what she was going to write about with Rebel Heart, that sort of like resurfaced or whatever. So
okay, Stefan, you just gave me an idea. Since you're always speculating that her or her people are listening, I want to put it out into the universe that her and Stuart need to finish Revolution and put it on the next album. That is my wish and desire.
I would actually enjoy.
Now imagine if Stuart, because he could keep,
exactly.
He could keep that like that tempo and like the folksiness, but still give it like the sort of new disco sheen that would take it 21st century. Oh,
Ben,
yeah.
where would you like that on the album? Is that a closer?
That would be a good closer. Then she could just call the album Freedom, and it could be freedom from life and death and sorrow and all the themes that would potentially, we know she was inspired by All of Us Strangers, which don't get me started another diatribe about that movie, but it's definitely about sorrow and sadness and aging and yada, yada, yada. So, yeah. Oh,
Never Let You Go. Never Let You Go really had me thinking about Supernatural, because there's a couple of things she uses lyrically in that is kind of like, I'm keeping this like vision to myself, and these like, your energy is still a part of me. And a little bit less direct about doing it with a ghost, but the vibes are there because what did she say? Phantom touch, she says in there.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Yeah, I want Two Steps Behind Me to never be heard again. That song, I just...
well, I
liked it.
When that came out, I think a lot of people just jumped on the bandwagon of it was about Lady Gaga. And
I just assumed it was about one of Guy Ritchie's like trysts or something.
I think it's interchangeable, but a lot of people were like, "Oh no, this is," because that was at the time when it was like heating up the war of like people were pitting her against Lady Gaga and vice versa. And I think when that leaked, people were like, "Oh, she wrote a song about Lady Gaga." I'm like,
I think
maybe
people wanted it to be like that.
For sure, that's exactly. Liberty is 100% correct. Yes, yes.
They want to fight.
Right. It's they love when the women are catfighting, and I don't think that there really is anything there.
Boring.
I don't think there's anything there.
Like Freedom, that song?
Yes, but again, giving me protest song. It's giving me which I like, but my preferred is God Is Love, because God Is Love, it has that thundering piano, and it has, for me, the most obvious message of all of it, which is Jesus didn't die for our sins just so you could treat other people like beep. And I feel like Freedom, I think, could come out in the right context even now, because it's such a misunderstood message, or the misunderstood word now. And just like the word liberty, what it means to certain people, it's becoming so bastardized, I think, for its original meaning. And I would love to see her get that message out again, because it fires me up.
Indeed. See, I want to rescue those background vocals on Freedom, the male female chorus, the I love that. That sounds so. And then she comes in her little high voice, and I'm just like, oh, that's so pretty. It's so pretty.
Her and Avicii did a really good job at crafting songs. Like, they must have just really hit it off, because all of their songs that they did either for the album or that were unreleased and never made it are all catchy, super powerful. Like you can just tell that they had a good working relationship.
We're right, and I think it's also a testament to when two really good musicians come together, really good pop musicians.
Yeah,
they speak a language that others can't necessarily understand or do as well, and they just created a lot of, both of them are using really easy guitar chords that are not difficult to like I said, these 60s verse, sort of 60s adjacent kind of easy melodies that they created. And it's one of my favorite, and I think one of Madonna's favorite sort of genres of music, especially, the sort of pop girl groups that make these really easy, but like I've said, the protest song, this folky vibe, she does it so well.
Mm-hmm. Ben, what are some of the other ones that why did I feel like you liked Tragic Girl?
Oh, I don't like this one.
You don't like, maybe that's what it was then.
No, I actually am not a huge fan of the Pharrell songs, and most of the Natalia songs I'm kind of because I feel like at that point she should have just been like, okay, take a pause. Like that initial burst of creativity with Avicii, because we know just from her previous interviews, that was like, what, 2 weeks just holed up in a studio in LA after the Oscars party. And they wrote all those songs. It's crazy. And like, I'm just like, the original Wash All Over Me. I'm like, why?
I know.
Why?
Yeah.
Like, I wish I'd never heard that, because it's just, it's so good. And when that version leaked, I was like, oh, we're in for a treat. And then the Kanye version came out, and I was like,
yeah,
what?
I still swear she did that just to punish us, because it was like, oh, they're going to leak all these songs. I'm not giving them the version they thought they were going to get. And
yeah.
Well, I think she was trying to figure out a way to keep it fresh. This was all happening in a time when streaming was really picking up. Like, I didn't have streaming yet in 2014. I was still buying albums and downloading them. We were all using iTunes and like that, but streaming was starting to start. And so, like, the frequency and the pattern with which people were interacting with music, like a leak coming out in December, it already sounds stale if it shows up on the album even 3 months later, right? And so I get the instinct to want it to be a surprise and be fresh when it arrives as a body of work, but the body of work got debodied. It decayed. Like, it has...
I mean, times have changed so much, and now, honestly, artists, a lot of them, they get traction just through TikTok, which may be going away again.
Oh God, again. I can't take it. It's like, either just get rid of it or keep it. Like, it's stupid.
TikTok is the big concern. I feel like maybe Signal's a little bit, I don't know. But
there's bigger issues than a TikTok,
all the military equipment that's being moved right now. Like, what is going on anyway?
Yeah, but back to Madonna.
Back that up to the beat.
Heaven. We haven't really talked about that, but I feel like that one could be like Heartbreak City's little like goth sister or something.
Yes,
it's got this sort of darkness to the message and to the vibe of the song. But yeah, I had this goth imagery when I'm listening to Heaven.
That's interesting you say that, because the other thing that progresses over the course of everything as it was put together feels like there was like a hopefulness in the Rebel Heart part with like the little sad love songs, and then yeah, it gets darker as it goes along, like the snarky, the snipey songs, and then Heaven, which is sort of dirgy. It's like, and then Heartbreak City pops up in there. I'm like, when did that whole breakup with what's his face that tried to get money happen? I'm like, oh,
Yeah, I
somebody
mean,
was not pleased.
she really when she taps into her heartbreak, it's really painful. I think it's painful for her to do, and painful what she puts on the paper, and but yet relatable in so many ways. I think a
Very
lot of
much
people
so.
can understand that and grasp onto those feelings. Like, which isn't really one of the unreleased, but Queen to me is in that sort of family of the mortality aspect of who she
Oh,
is.
for sure. That's what
Oh,
I thought was
yeah.
so powerful about
Yeah.
that song. And I was surprised that she would write a song about that and then put it on the album, and then it got taken off the album. And but I love that song.
Me too.
Was it taken off before or after the fall of the Brits? I don't remember.
It never, I mean, it never made it onto like a physical album. Like, I don't
That's
even
true.
know. I don't even know if it was like, I think maybe I saw like a track listing that included it. And then when it came out, it wasn't part of, oh my God, I'm just freezing
Yeah.
left and right on this.
It's the lightning. It's the
It's the
lightning.
queen.
She's
Yeah.
trying
It's
to
the
trying to
queen.
like shoot the Esther laser at you right through your computer.
Shut up about
Wait, I
Queen.
have a question for the two of you. If you could take, let me keep this not too broad. If you could pick two of the leaked tracks and put them on the album, which two tracks would you choose, and which two songs would you take off the album to make room for those two?
Oh,
Liberty, you first.
Wait, are we talking about like the standard, the super
The
duper
deluxe.
deluxe?
The deluxe.
yeah, the super deluxe. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Okay. So yeah, I would put God is Love on there, and probably also Revolution. But what would I take off? Auto Tune Baby.
But that's not
And-
really part of, is that part of, that's not.
Is it? It's not?
It was a German bonus track on the Super
Okay.
Deluxe.
Okay, we'll count that. We'll count that. We'll
Okay.
count
It's
that.
just because that one is just like for real, like, and maybe Body Shop, because even though I don't hate Body Shop, it's just so like, I don't know. It just doesn't pump me up. Let's just say that. It's not like one of those that I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
you know? And the other, I mean, Revolution is really like one I could see myself, running through the streets with Madonna. Like, we're going to like protest and we're going to storm down
The Bastille.
Pennsylvania Avenue. I don't know.
Oh, Liberty, tell everyone about the dream you had about Madonna.
Oh my gosh. So I dreamed the other day that, so I woke up, but I was like,
From a
wait.
fuzzy dream.
I woke up from a fuzzy dream that I had, I was performing on stage with Madonna. I was dancing as a backup dancer, and it was going south, but let me tell you why. Not for me. I was giving it my all. I was putting everything into it, but Madonna kept going off the stage to like scroll Instagram. And all of us are like, like doing our, like giving it. And then we're just like looking over and seeing like, what is she doing? She's scrolling Instagram. And the audience was like leaving. And all of a sudden I look out and I'm like, oh my God, like half the arena is gone because she is just sitting over here scrolling side stage. And yeah, and I woke up and it was between, okay, when I was like really noticed it was between True Blue and Cherish. What kind of a set list was this? I don't know.
Oh, wow.
Both of those songs were on the set list. Oh, geez.
Yeah, but I was giving it my all.
That's definitely signs that it was a dream.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah, but it was hilarious, and I was just like, And she was just scrolling away. She's like, oh my God.
She was, well, because it was cherished. She was over it. She's like, no, no, thank you. She's like, I'll let them handle it.
Right. I don't
Oh
even
my
know. Who
God.
knows?
Oh
I
my
have
God, that's
like
so funny.
weird
All right,
dreams
Stefan,
about it.
it's your turn now. Which
Okay.
two would you put on and which two would you take off?
Okay, well, so I'm going to do the takeoff. Hold on, I'm looking. I'm going to vote with Liberty and take off Body Shop because I don't need to ever hear that song again.
Oh my God,
And
you haters.
I'm going to take off Veni Vidi Vici because that's a skip for me on the Super Deluxe. Sorry. And I will add on Alone with You because I need that kind of upbeat banger to, do laundry and wash dishes too. And I will also put on. I want it to be cohesive with the album, so I'll do Never Let You Go, I think. Oh no, but Revolution's good too. I mean, but see, that's the thing. I don't know if I want it to be too Avicii. Well, no. Okay, sorry. Rewind. If I had my druthers, Alone with You, and the Avicii version of Wash All Over Me. That's what I want back on the album. So yeah, take off the album version of Wash All Over Me and give me the Avicii version because that was like my friend Sean and I, who was he was my friend that when Madonna came off stage at Madame X in Philadelphia and sat between the two of us and grilled poor Sean and asked him where he was from, and he was like New Jersey, and she's like, I'm sorry, and like, and then when I'm telling you, I'll still never forget Sean's face when Madonna was like, what do you think about the show? And he's like, you're an icon. And she's like, no, icons are a social construct. It has nothing to do with the show. And she just turns away from Sean, and now she's staring at me, and I was like, Madonna just bitch slapped Sean, and I'm like, Sean was just sitting there with his mouth open, and I was like, and then she's like, what did you think? And I was like, I was afraid to answer her. My God. Sorry, I digress. But yes, Sean and I will still text each other every now and again randomly, RIP Wash All Over Me, because the original version's dead. So yeah, those are my Alone with You and Wash All Over Me. So take out the album version of Wash All Over Me and take out Veni Vidi Vici. What about you, Ben?
Oh, I would get rid of Veni Vidi Vici and Sex. I absolutely hate Sex. I think that is the dumbest song she's ever put on a record. I can't stand it. The raw meat line makes me want to scream every time I hear it.
I think it's hilarious.
And what would you add on? I think we know, but what would you add on?
I actually would put Revolution and Alone with You on just because I think those are bops, and one fits the rebel side and one fits the heart side because I want it to go back to the original concept. So she should have stuck with her gut instinct. She has fantastic gut instincts when it comes to making a record.
Although, just so you know, Giulio from Madonna Songbook did tell me that she was the one who chose the songs for the album. It had nothing to do with
I'm sure she did, but at that point she had all this material and was trying to make it all fit together instead of just sticking with the original version and saying, okay, this stuff can be like B-sides on, because they still put out singles then. She could have had B-sides, like whatever.
Well, maybe the kids were fighting in the back seat and she was selecting them, and she's like, yeah, I'm going to turn this car around.
If you don't shut up in the back seat, I'm putting Auto-Tune Baby on this album.
But the kids were, how old were they at that time? Well, kind of.
Oh God,
Lola was
10 years ago.
Lola was
so
older.
the twins were young. The twins were wee little babies.
The twins would have been like 5. Yeah,
they weren't even.
No,
they
aren't
weren't
they?
even
Aren't they
around
12
yet.
or 13? I think they
were born in 2011, so they would have been like 4.
Yeah, they were young.
Yeah, they were just adopted.
Oh my God, Lola's turning 30 next year.
Shut up!
Really?
Don't tell anybody.
Wow, that's kind of crazy. Have we been around that long?
Let me get my walker. My sciatica is acting up from all that bogan.
I'm excited about Lola's new music. Speaking of,
I think
if her version of It's So Cool is anything to give us a, first of all, if she doesn't put It's So Cool on her new album, that's a missed opportunity, because
Yeah.
that was beautiful. But yeah,
Oh,
I'm excited to see what she does.
I have to point out that there is someone in the chat defending the album version of Wash All Over Me as a beautiful Torch song.
Look, I will say yes. I appreciate what the album version is for sure. I'm not condoning that, or I'm not condemning that anyone should not like that. I just think, Dance Stefan was ready for that dance
the
anthem.
intro on the original with those tornado strings, that da 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 da. I'm like, come on now.
And then it's like how it sort of folds and then you get the beat. Bum, bum, in a world that's changing.
Yeah.
Da, da, da.
But those strings would have hit at the club, and you would have known to chug your drink and run to the dance floor. Like you'd be like, I got 20 seconds. Off you go. Like, come on now.
To me, that original version has a little bit of like a ray of light.
Yes.
Hook. It's like it's holding on a little bit to that album. And there's nothing like the first moment, because we were all so excited for new Madonna music. And someone said that they landed in my inbox, I remember. And I think my life was like, had all of a sudden new meaning. This was the most amazing music I'd ever heard. And I don't know if it was because I felt such a drought at the time, but hearing what the final album version was, you could never replicate that feeling for myself again. And yeah, like I said, it's got the just hanging on a little bit to that ray of light feeling.
Yeah.
And,
well, and so somebody had mentioned, they commented after we did our Rebel Heart anniversary, that we didn't give proper dues to the original version, the demo version of Rebel Heart, which we did mention it a little bit, but I also do have to say, like, in addition to the Wash All Over Me demo, getting the demo version of Rebel Heart, there's something about the Rebel Heart, and like that version of the demo, like the album version is great and very guitar-y and like cool, like it's a very cool Madonna. But there's something about once you hear those demo versions for the first time, it's sort of like that becomes the song. And it just was very hard to erase that Avicii, because Avicii knows what he's doing. Like he was a great producer, a great musician, and it was very hard to erase that sound once Madonna had like lost control of those demos.
It does make me really mad for her, because I just think it was just such a sad thing to happen to her, even though I sucked that stuff up like a sponge. And I'm sorry to her that I was so like hungry for it, and I didn't share, but was shared with. And
oh, it was bad. I remember while it was happening, I was like, and then it happened again, and then it happened again, and I was like, oh my God, like this. Well,
when all of it came out, was it Christmas Eve? I think like 20 some tracks, like just right out on the internet. It was just too much,
and I was like, again, like you, Liberty, I was hungry for new Madonna music, but like that's just an invasion of privacy and like total disregard for a person's intellectual and creative process. It's just not right to do that.
And it wasn't the first time. No, like, but I had Confessions for almost 2 weeks before it came out.
But that was finished.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like this was like unfinished work that was still in progress, and such a violation. Obviously it's illegal and that person went to jail, but so I hope they enjoyed the, trying to become popular by leaking Madonna music. But
well, and who knows? They could have actually not been mastered, but finished in her mind and ready for that next step. And I just really wish that it hadn't happened the way that it occurred. You know, that we would have been able to just have it organically, and it would have been the way that she wanted us to have it. And because I think that she also knew just how magical all of those songs, especially those two, really were, because they've got such a, even like a David Bowie feeling to them. There's something just really special. And obviously, who knows what could have happened if none of that had occurred. But
Oh, it would have been a very different era. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like,
Very.
it's like I don't even know what it would have been like because it was so twisted. And I mean, she did a great job at promo, and that tour was amazing. And so she, you know, made lemonade out of lemons for sure. But
yeah, I hope she doesn't look back on it too regretfully, or at least if she thinks about it, that, you know, she understands, I know what better not to do next time. And
yeah, well, absolutely no regrets.
yeah, well, and yeah.
Ben, anything in the chat going on that we need to know about?
Actually, too much to catch up on. Like, the chat has been like super busy about songs they would pull, and then there was like a side conversation about best lead singles and best tour openers.
Oh,
It's been busy. People have been busy. Let's see here. Somebody said something
that's a
about
whole nother episode.
something that you hummed from the Rebel Heart track was someone's favorite part that they missed, and just a lot of love for the Avicii production.
Well,
An interesting era.
yes, and again, like we always say, you know, we're on the cusp of an upcoming new era, whenever that may be. Again,
God, I hope there's not a single leak.
no. So you notice she was Ricardo was posting from London the other week, and as we always say, if Ricardo goes somewhere, Madonna is there. So I assume she was back in London with Stewart working on the album again, because if, like we theorize, they're not emailing stuff back and forth, she's going there. And I'm like, I don't know if that's like eco-friendly, and probably really expensive to be flying back and forth just to work on an album. It's like, Madonna, can't you just finish it in 2 weeks when you're there? Like, set aside the time. But look, if she's releasing some brilliant music, I'll put on a little bit extra sunscreen because she's, you know, destroyed the ozone layer a little bit flying back and forth in London. It's fine. It's, you know, like, you got to make some sacrifices here, people. You know? We're talking about major sacrifices. Are we ready? Can we be brave? Madonna. That's the Madonna vote commercial. In case you don't know where my brain is, it just lives rent free in my head. Some of those quotes. Well, everybody, that's our show. Remember, subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're almost at 5,000 subscribers, so subscribe if you haven't. You can find us on Instagram, Twitter, and Threads, all social platforms, at MLVC Podcast. If you'd like to donate to the show, we're on Venmo at MLVC Podcast, or click the like button on YouTube and donate via Super Thanks. But remember, everybody, knowledge is power. You can trust no bitch. Yeah. And who knows what we're going to talk about next? We're just flying by the seat of our pants until Madonna releases some new music. We're hoping that there's a tour film on the horizon. We're hoping that, the bedtime story, hello. So Pop Leaks on Twitter, which again is probably just somebody just throwing stuff against a wall and seeing what sticks.
That's somebody's grandma who just makes stuff up.
She's like, I think Katy Perry is going to release a deluxe album. But they theorized that Madonna. They said Madonna, April/May. So I'm like, okay. Can we be a little bit more specific about what you're insinuating? I'm assuming it's probably the bedtime story thing that be what we get first, but maybe the tour film, like on the year anniversary of Rio, we'll get the tour film. I mean,
That would surely take away from Gaga's performance in Rio.
Oh, is that coming up? When is that? When's that happening?
Like about the exact same day, the 3rd or something of May.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no, there's no way. Maybe that's what she's avoiding. Who knows? I don't know.
Madonna, listen, all Madonna is doing is aiming to be the stupidest person in the room. Okay, and looking beautiful while doing it.
She said that on right. Where's that from?
Because
people will come for you. People are like, I can't believe Liberty thought she was saying she was stupid.
That's what she posted in her stories the other day with that gorgeous photo where, it's this
Oh
hairstyle.
my God,
that's
she looked so beautiful.
incredible.
This new hairstyle that she's got going on is working for her.
Louise is
Louise
back.
Oriole from
Yes.
the Bad Girl video. Yeah. Oh my God, but that's interesting because a lot of people. So she was doing the middle part, and people were like, "Bad Girl, Bad Girl." I'm like, no. That's Saturday Night Live Bad Girl, but
Yeah.
the Bad Girl video is side part Madonna. So
Yes.
like the middle part is not video. That's the SNL.
But it still has the vibe of Louise for sure.
Yes, for sure. But like people were like, Bad Girl video. I'm like, no. I'm like, enough people come for me when I get things wrong. Oh, which by the way, yes, we celebrated the 35th anniversary of Vogue a week early. So shoot me. Sue me. Everybody else does. I'm going to vote. Please share votes and stuff like that.
Oh my Lord.
All right, wave goodbye to the lovely people at home. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Liberty, what are you wearing? Does that say Snatch? Oh,
No, it's from the tour, from Rebel Heart
Yeah,
tour.
I have
and
my
it's
Rebel
old,
Heart on.
Oh,
Hold
yeah,
on.
I've got Rebel Heart on too. What are you? Is that her
Oh,
dog?
that is
Yeah.
more
Oh, that's so
see-through.
cute. Oh, I thought it said Snatch.
It says-
that Guy Ritchie movie.
Yeah, I know, but it's like says bitch at the top, and then it says, "Are you in my gang?" underneath Olga's picture.
Oh,
Aw.
cute.
It's a little tight, but
Oh, I wasn't complaining about
Welcome
that
to the
fit.
club.
Yeah.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, on that note,
Night.
on the note of bosoms, we're ending this live as soon as I can find the button.
You think there's anybody who hasn't seen your